Hi guys, it's Khandie here. I'm about to start shooting my first wedding since C-19 and down has slowly been lifted and the restrictions are being changed here in the UK. First of all, my kit has changed. I'm going to go through my kit with you really quickly now. I have swapped out a lot of prime lenses for zoom lenses, mainly because I need to keep social distance. And zoom lenses, while they're great, I need to ensure that I get the same quality of images, and they are great, but I need to be able to move in quick and still maintain distances. So there's a lot more zoom lenses than there is in my kit normally. The 85 is in there, the 105 is in there, but the 35 is probably going to be used a lot less. The 24-70 is in there. The 70 to 200s in there. I am literally limited, so I can be with my mask on 1 meter to people, but in the UK that is, but you know, I still don't know if they're vulnerable, so I'm trying to maintain distance. I've got 2 masks that I'll change over during the day, and loads of filters in between them. Hand sanitizer, I've also got spray sanitizer to sanitize all my kit as well. I am bringing very minimal kit. I am ready to do this, so let's see how it goes. Hi, so I did the wedding a couple of days ago, so let's just say it was definitely a surreal experience. I realised why we're doing it, so I don't need someone to come at me for that, but even just doing group shots meant that there still has to be a maintenance of the distance, and obviously there was less guests there because certain venues have a limit and they can't accommodate the 2 metre clearance. Also meant I couldn't bring a second shooter because it's just not a risk that you should really be factoring in my opinion. So there was no second shooter. It was a very short day, so I did the ceremony, but there was no real reception because you can't have wedding receptions up to a certain point. Got bit by a midgie, look at this, by a mosquito even. It wasn't too hard to maintain social distance for myself. One, because I'm quite used to being as a photographer, you don't really get into people's faces, and obviously, as I spoke earlier, I had all the kit that meant I could do close-ups, but without having to be close. God love those 85mm 105 lenses. It was weird because normally you go and meet and greet people and you mingle amongst the crowd for a reception, get those lovely shots. There was none of that. There's no first dance. This is a couple who have sort of postponed the main event, shall we say, although they got legally married on the day, they've postponed it. My tips are, if you are going to go into this, you need to really consider your own health risks involved. Do a risk assessment, which I have done. Also, really limit your kit down and limit your there's a dog barking. Limit your team down, because the least interaction, the better it is. Another thing is, top tip, is to make sure you are using that hand sanitizer a lot. Try and bring your own water supply. As much as I would say get it from the bar, it's quite difficult at the moment, and especially in the heat we're having. As you can see here, I'm a bit sweaty, or should we say glowing. But you're not going to get any food at these venues unless it's pre-booked and stuff like that, so I didn't obviously expect to get a meal from it. A couple of other things is, you know, be conscious of who you are interacting with, because all those staff are there at the venues. You don't want to be maybe interacting with them as heavily as you want to, because, you know, if one of them comes down with it, that's you out of commission, but that's the entire wedding party out of commission as well. I know some people say this is OCD, but at the end of the day, if a client can trace back their COVID interaction back to me as a source, I am going to be sued. So I don't think if it's as an OCD thing, or I hate using that term for anything like that, because that is a medical term for someone that does suffer from it, but you know, I am a bit cautious, shall we say, and I think I should be rightly so. I have a business to run, I need to maintain it. One of my dogs come in. It's really sad news here at Khandie HQ. We lost one of our dogs. She sadly passed away, so I'm a little bit under the weather, and as you can probably see, I've not been sleeping very well because I'm deeply upset, but that's by the by. Always gonna make me cry. No. So hang on one second. So yeah, just make sure you do that. Make sure you have a COVID clause, shall we say, in your contract. That means that they can reschedule or they don't reschedule what you're going to do in the event if something happens. I have a backup team, but you know, you need to have that covered. You need to speak to an insurer. Anyway, the only thing I would say is be prepared for it to be very surreal. You can't have people stood together, even if they wear masks. They still have to get meet clearance here in the UK, unless they're in the same social group or same social bubble, I think they call it here. But even still, it's very unlikely that everyone at your wedding party is in the same social bubble, because that's not recommended. But yeah, do you know what? Love a challenge. Really enjoyed it. Beautiful hot day. Beautiful bride. Beautiful bride. But if you've got any tips for dealing with wedding photography during COVID, let us know. Drop the comments in below. And thank you so much for all the love and support. Take care, guys.